So for today's Ryan rant, I want to dabble on what was said yesterday by President Trump on Twitter regarding pulling the press credentials for news outlets because of their negative reporting. I mean, at first when I read this, I was like, holy shit. You know, you start taking away the fucking First Amendment, that's a big deal. But then I got to thinking about it, and I saw some coverage by Sarah Sanders answering questions to the journalists in the White House. And she made a good point, and I was even thinking about this before I saw this, is, you know, this has to be in retaliation to a lot of the fake news that's being reported. I mean, should we go full blown? I don't know, because we have to look at it in the perspective of, if you do something wrong, even if it's unknowingly wrong, you're still held accountable for your actions. If you lie, then you don't hold any credibility, and therefore, why do you need a press credential if you're not a credible press journalist or outlet of any sort? If all you're going to do is report on things that people will believe just because of the sake of believing it, for they hate who it's being reported on, then they don't deserve to be able to report. The whole concept of the First Amendment is the right to free speech and free press. Everybody can say what they want. But in regards to free press, the press have a responsibility to report correctly. And if they're not doing that, then they don't need to be able to report on things or be able to even ask questions at certain press conferences, because you are no longer credible. Sarah Sanders talking about the New York Times yesterday said that Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State, was AWOL. Couldn't be found anywhere. But the matter of the fact was, he was on a plane on his way back from North Korea. Well, he's not fucking AWOL, is he? He's out performing his duties as the Secretary of State and bringing 3 Americans home from what, you know, might still be a fucking communist regime. Fake news, right? They didn't have their facts straight, and they wanted to mislead the public by making it seem like our fucking White House personnel are nowhere to be found and they can't run the White House correctly. That's the way that you sway the public, is you mislead them. And then the Washington Times reported earlier in the week about how Melania Trump, the First Lady, was not living in the White House. Well, yes, she is. So it's this kind of fake news. And then let's even go even smaller. So let's talk about when NBC news station in Ohio decided to report on how powerful an AR-15 was. So they have a guy shooting at a watermelon. I'm pretty sure a lot of you might remember this. They had a guy shoot at a watermelon with a fucking 12-gauge shotgun and blatantly referred to it as an AR-15. And when they got called out for it, they were like, oh, sorry, we didn't know. The fuck you didn't know? You know damn well what you were doing. And it's shit like that that makes the people lose their trust in the press, when you can't even get your fucking facts right, especially when you blatantly do it wrong. Then you got retired Army Major General fucking twat waffle unable to hold an AR-15 correctly. I swear to God, if he was a private and basic, fucking drills would be eating his ass alive. The way they're fucking holding the goddamn shit like a stupid-ass liberal. Then he's going to sit there and say, oh, now we're going to go fully semi-automatic. To make it seem like it's going to shoot any faster than the human finger can possibly squeeze the trigger. Well, I'm going to shoot it at a slow pace. Now watch, we're going to go full semi-automatic. Notice how I'm still pulling my finger? It's so fast, it's almost like it's an automatic. People shouldn't have these weapons. Yeah, okay. So, this misleading behavior to sway the public's political opinion on certain topics is the reason why I agree that press credentials should get pulled, because it doesn't matter what your political opinions are as a representative of a news media outlet. I don't care if you don't or do like Donald Trump. I'm talking to you, Fox News, I'm talking to you, CNN. I don't care. Your job as a news media outlet is to report the news, not to come up with stories to sway the public. This is the reason why the nation is so divided, because outlets like Fox News and CNN and NBC are constantly on two sides of the spectrum. Tell us the truth and don't make it in favor of either party. Your job is to be non-biased. If you can't be non-biased, you have no business in the news. Period. Rant over, guys. Mufasa out.